How? I'm probably coming up the mic. Oh gosh. I so brought the wrong phone for this. Okay, I hope you can hear me. I'm back in a mall. There you go. Alright, now I have to actually walk straight. So I've been thinking a lot lately because I've been having more interviews for the Changing Scripts podcast where I interview people learning the language and people that grew up with the language, who grew up with Pudanghua, Mandarin Chinese, both sides of the coin, every pun intended. If you're in China, you know what that means. Yeah, so in talking to people, it becomes abundantly clear that for those of us who are learning the Chinese, that I need to stop saying the Chinese language. There's varieties. For people learning Pudanghua, and I'm sure other varieties, but I'm just going to focus on this one. There's this sense of when you're studying one part of it, you're always neglecting other parts. And I don't know if this exists in other languages that people learn, but I think because the writing system is so complex and so different than the Latin alphabet coming from English that I think this is different, but I'm not sure. Let me know if you've studied Pudanghua as well as other languages. Let me know if this is different or this is the same. But for now, I can only share my experiences and the experiences of the people that of stories, language learning stories, and language using stories that I'm collecting for the podcast. And the consensus seems to be, no matter how much you study, you're always neglecting some part of the language. Let me go into that just a hair. Just a hair. The writing script, as you can see up there, is intricate. This is not intentional. I just happen to have script all over me because I'm in Shanghai, China. I live here. Yes, so the writing script is intricate and it takes time to write. It takes time to read. And then you've got the pronunciation, which is the sounds and the tones, and those are two different things. And then you have the vocabulary, and then you have the grammar. And I'm probably missing something. So there's all of that wrapped into one. So if you focus a lot on vocabulary building, and that probably helps with your reading, you're probably neglecting your listening. Oh, that's one I missed. So you're probably neglecting your listening and speaking. You're probably neglecting your tones, all those kinds of things. So if you focus in on one or two components at a time and study those like 2-3 hours a day, like I'm trying to do, you inevitably neglect other aspects of it. So what people are saying and what I've been feeling for a while is there's never enough time to study everything every time you touch the language. And perhaps that's okay. I mean, I guess it has to be okay. But man, does it just increase the language guilt. It just compounds every day because you're like, okay, I neglected this yesterday, this the day before yesterday, and this 3 days ago. I'm just constantly neglecting different aspects of the language. So you kind of, I like this pink background. That looks nice. Hi. Anyway, you have to constantly choose what to focus on and what not to focus on. And in that, and if you skew it too much in one direction, then your skills will be really skewed in one direction. Now for me, I sound like a buffoon when I speak, but I'm really excited that my reading is progressing along at a really nice level. However, it does slightly bug me that I sound like a buffoon when I'm speaking, slightly. So I'll probably start to concentrate more on that in the future, but for now, like I said, pretty much for the rest of the year, I'm still focused on the huge vocabulary dump that is in the HSK materials that I'm using. So I'm kind of choosing those skills to work on, the reading, and not so much the writing, but the reading and the vocabulary. I'm really focused on those, and I'm listening to the HSK stuff, but I'm buffoon-like saying them, but I'm not practicing them again like I could. Okay, it's getting a little too crowded now. I'm gonna go this way. So yeah, do you guys feel this? If you're studying Chinese, let me know if you feel this. If you have studied and are now just in the using phase, did you feel this at one point? And how did you manage that always neglecting something feeling? Did you kind of quantify the skills across a week, across a month, so that you were kind of balancing them out in the end? Excuse me. Or one of the people I interviewed that you'll hear in the fall season, Ian, he mentioned that he kind of just goes with what he feels like he needs at the time, And sometimes he'll feel like he needs to work on his speaking some more, and sometimes the grammar, and sometimes vocabulary. And so he just organically goes with what he feels like he needs. That feels like a really peaceful place to be. I'm just not there yet. So we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I'm not going to stop doing what I'm doing and try to study 8 hours a day, because that's just not doable. I think 1 to 2 hours feels very, very comfortable to me. So we'll see what happens, but I just want to put it out there. Do you feel, oh, that was fun. Do you feel like you're always neglecting your studies? And even if you have a really good, productive 1.5 to 2 hours of studying, do you feel like you've accomplished a lot, or do you still feel that language guilt? Because I'm kind of on the, woohoo, I can't believe I went through that whole exercise without, throwing the book across the room or getting frustrated or stopping. And then on the other hand, I'll be like, oh, but there's all of this stuff I haven't done, or this aspect of it I haven't done. So yeah, it's tricky. It's tricky. And in a sense, the trickiness is part of what keeps me going, because it feels like a super intricate puzzle. And although I don't think I've ever really been into puzzles, I feel like I might have been had I been a more patient person before now. Who knows? Anyway, I look forward to your feedback. Talk to you.